Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvushavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste. Welcome to the last session on Karma Kanda. Smriti ji will wrap up the discussions today, and then we'll move on to other topics after this. And then we'll welcome Smriti ji back for yoga and Panchakosha pathway after a couple of months. As it stands now, that is the plan. Next week, we'll potentially have sessions on important shlokas that all people following Hinduism should know, things that you can use on a day-to-day basis. So with that, Smriti ji, over to you.
Namaste everyone, very happy to be back. Just give me a minute as I fetch my charger and then I will just start in a minute.
Yeah. Hope you're all celebrating the Navratri festival days right now. So wishes for a happy Navratri, everyone.
Suprabhatam Mahoday.
Suprabhatam.
Namaste everyone. Be happy to be back. Just give me a minute. Sorry, I'm just settling down here a bit because today I have a marathon of 7 hours of online classes today. So I'm just from one class to another, I'm just shifting. Yeah. So we are very happy to be back here. So I think in the previous session, our Agastyananda would have covered a little more details of the 16 samskaras. What I will do is that the next few minutes, I will just scroll through the slides, in just 1 or 2 minutes, and then maybe people can just get a overview of the terminologies that we have spoken about. And then I will go into the details of how to do a small puja. Okay. So we looked at the Garbhadhana Samskara in terms of preparing the womb to receive Jiva. That is looking for an apt Garbha to be born in this Bhuloka in order to fulfill one's Swadharma and take on an appropriate Swabhava as well. So that way, the womb of the mother and the general well-being of the father is prepared during this period, right? And then we had the Pumsuvana, which is done in the early months of pregnancy, and mainly to protect the child and the mother. And Sivantoyana, which is the parting of the hair, and mainly, the various materials are used, and in fact, the quill of a porcupine is used in order to part the hair. So as I told you in the previous session when we met, many of these things that are done as part of the ritual may have a source, may not have a source, may have a logic, may not have a logic. So it is mainly one of them important pramanas other than pratyaksha, anumana, and agama, that is direct cognizance, direct or inference, or through the vakyas of the rishis. There is also something called aidiha, where through the various practices which are there in the society, we adopt them. So that through the aidiham, through through the various traditions and the family systems, these rituals are actually brought out, right? Then you have the jata karma, where the honey and ghee is fed to the new child, and Namakarana, which is the naming ceremony, which is conducted on the 10th or 12th day. We sometimes do it on the 11th day here. And then in the 4th month, the child is brought for the first time. And then the first feeding of the solid food happens around 6 months. And the Annaprashna happens, again, the other, which is the Annaprashna. Many people here in India, they actually take the child to, in South India especially, they take the child to Guruvayur, and where the first, solid food is given. So it depends again on the family tradition. Then you have shaving of the child's first hairs, because all the birth related impurities and everything is taken care of through that process. And Karana Veda, which is the piercing of the ear, happens. And this is mainly, there are actually, here it's right ears is pierced first for boys and left for the girls. Right, so some kind of a tradition is followed over there, and a traditional person who is a goldsmith is usually invited to the house, and then the Karna Veda is done. So if you look at the 16 Samskaras, it was also a social harmonizing process. So whatever is done as part of the Samskaras, it is not confined to the family. So according to the Swabhava and the Swadharma, and the vocations pursued by different people in the society, they were all part of these ceremonies. So typically, in order to pierce the ear, of course, nowadays we go to the beauty parlor and then we have a gunshot over there. But in a traditional system, in a village, if you see, there will be goldsmiths who are there, who are invited to the home, and they are also part of the celebrations. And on that day, they sit they are given a asanam to sit, and they are treated with respect. And then they do this ear piercing for the girls and the boys. Both of them get pierced very early, right? And in fact, in my family tradition, each family will have its own traditions, where the child's ear is pierced before they are taken out of the house. So that is one tradition. In some traditions, at the end of 1 year, the ear is pierced. In many traditions, the child sits on the lap of the maternal uncle, and then the ears are pierced. So like that, each family has its own traditions, right? In fact, when I speak about the maternal uncle, I remember this anecdote that somebody was sharing about a practice that is prevalent in the pearl harvesting communities in South India, in South Tamil Nadu, in fact. So what they do is that the pearls need to be fetched from deep under the waters, and the man has to go deep under the water and fetch the pearls, and their legs are basically tied to a rope, and then they are put inside the water. Not legs, basically their hips are tied with rope, and they're put in the water so that they can come back anytime. And the rope is held by the brother of the wife. Okay, why so? It's because whose life, who will consider his life to be most precious, because it is also his sister's future. This guy will make sure that his sister's husband does not drown in the water. So that way the brother protects his sister's life by holding on to the rope of the guy who goes into the water and fetches the pearls. So that way there is a sthana, there is a position that is given to every member of the society, every member of the family, and depending on the occasion, each one is invited to play a part in that, right? And because there is an important sthana that is given to each member of the family and member of the society, there is also a kind of unfulfillment or dissatisfaction arises when we don't invite them for those events. This is a very common thing that we notice in the Indian families. They did not invite me. I was not given the proper, maryada in that event. So all these crop up because every festival has, a set of practices to be followed. And there are people who are given important sthanas as part of these festivals, right? Vidyarambham, the early beginning of education. Usually in Vijayadashami we do, here also at Anadi Foundation on all the Vijayadashamis, whenever we commence new Bala Gurukulams, we do what do you call it, Vidyarambham, or sometimes after Upanayanam also it is done, right? Upanayanam, we have the sacred ceremony. Vedarambham, beginning of pursuit of the Vedas, and first shaving of the hair happens, and Samavartana, end of the student life, and Vivaha happens. So there is an appropriate guidance that is given at every stage. So one is not left high and dry. In today's education, we see by the end of grade 12, we go to college. By the end of college, you are just on your own. So there is no elder to tell us that this is what you need to do. Even in families that have a lot of members, not everybody has access to such knowledge, because we don't have the Kula Acharya to tell us what to do in different situations. So education in the ancient sense was not confined to only these 18 years or 20 years or 16 years. It was a lifelong education where the Kula Guru or the family's Acharya will travel with the family in terms of guiding us throughout these various processes. And they will ask questions at the right time, has this been done? How, has this been done? And then they will in fact fix the muhurtas in a proactive manner. It's not like they will wait for you to invite them. They know each family in what stages they are. So they will fix the muhurtas and ensure that these rituals are followed appropriately. Vivaha is there, Vanaprastha stage, Pravesha Samskara, retirement group, and then Antyeshti Samskara. And there are, for the Antyeshti Samskara, important number of days are allocated in each family, 13 days, 16 days, whatever it is, for the Atman to reach its appropriate gati. Yes, Ji, please, Ji.
Namaste, Ji. Gandharva, can you explain that a bit more? And I'm just curious.
Which one, Ji?
Gandharva, step 14.
No. This is the different kinds of marriage. I don't have the full definitions of the marriage, each of them. But depends on, for example, if it is arranged by the family and within the same community, it is a type of a marriage. If one finds the bride on their own, elopes with the bride, that is one kind of a marriage. And depending on which kind of family they take the bride or groom or whatever it is, accordingly the classification of the marriage happens. That is the classification.
Okay, dhanyawada.
Yeah. Just give me. So any questions in the samskaras you have? Okay, fine. Let us proceed to the next component, where we are going to talk about the puja vidhi. Okay. So when we talk about the puja vidhi, there are, of course, today what I will put in the presentation is going to be a different steps. I will edit the slides a little later to have it in a more detailed manner. But nevertheless, for today's session, I'll present important points. So when it comes to the puja vidhis, there are different puja vidhis at different scales. Okay. So what we do at home on a daily basis will be a simplified version of the puja. What we do on a particular occasion will be at a different scale in terms of the processes involved. What we do for like very specific occasions, like for example, a homam or a big a homam or a yajnam or something like that, then the process will be different. And what we do as part of the temple pujas, that will be very different from what we do at home. Of course, the architecture is the same, but what kinds of mantras are chanted, what processes are followed, what should be adhered to is very different from what we do at home and what we do at the temple. Okay? A temple is a much serious thing, and people, especially who have elements resembling a temple at home, could be the vigrahams, which are very important or made of specific material, or it could be saligramams, which are precious. They are like I shouldn't use the word fossils, but that's the closest word I'm able to find. They are sacred fossils, we can say, which are found in specific rivers, Gantaki River. And they are taken from there, and then they have different shapes, and according to the shapes, they are worshipped accordingly. So stones, they are basically stones, and they have been here for millions of years, and hence they are revered very deeply. So when we have shaligramam at home, when we inherit it from our parents, then again a set of processes need to be followed. So that way, in the modern context, when we talk about puja vidhi and all of that, it has become like a burden to many people. The moment they look at pujas and yajnas and homams and temple, rituals, it is all looking like a very complicated affair that takes a lot of time. The only reason I feel, in fact, whatever we do at our own offices in our professional work is in fact very, very similar to what we do as part of the puja vidhi. Just that since it is professional work, it takes up most of our time. There is a lot of money involved in that. It caters to the modern context. We think that it is something that you do naturally. Whereas puja vidhi is also a set of processes which have their own set of outcomes and meanings, and the materials and all of that, which we anyway do in our professional life or the rest of the day as well. In fact, when you look at the ancient times, right? When you look at the ancient times, the Vedic processes, in my mind at least, it's a very simple processes. Now that we live in a rural area at the ashram, so for us, whenever we have to do a simple puja or a yajnam or whatever, we don't have to run hither thither trying to collect all the materials, because it's an ashram. We have already a basic set of materials in place, right? And we have a few trees that have flowers or plants which have flowers in them. We have a well here at the ashram, and we have few cows. So even if I had just one cow, it should have been okay. So the Shuddhikarana process, the purificatory process, is basically having the Panchagavya, right? So we have a cow, there is Panchagavyam, and through the cow dung, we can prepare the cow dung patties or varieties, as we call them, in order to perform the yajnam. We can take the flowers and perform the puja with the pushpam. The vibhuti, kungumam, vibhuti also we can make it on our own, because we have the cow dung. We just have to create an appropriate kiln kind of a thing, and then make the vibhuti out of it. So overall, if you see, it is not a very complicated, in our head, it's not a very complicated process, because we are just using materials which are found around us, right? But then what has happened, since this now has gone to the apartment, right? Now we find it so difficult to go find a banana leaf, a banana fruit, or a banana stem which we have to tie for Varalakshmi Vratam, or find a turmeric. All this has become a complicated process because now we are sourcing it from different directions, right? So that way, it's a very, when I say Vedic puja, to me it looks like a very sustainable, simple process, which resembles any other thing that we do in life, just that this particular activity is dedicated to the Deva. And when we do it in a temple, the crucial aspect is that what they do is that the Vigraham has to be infused with the divine. The divine has to come and occupy the Vigraham, right? So when we say Graham, right? Graham means it has the ability to take or grasp. When we say Vigraham, in a way, you can interpret that it has the ability to give. It will not take from us, it will give to you, right? So when we say the Graham, that's why they say that, don't have a broken Shivalinga in a temple and all of that, because then after that, the giving property of it goes away, right? So that is why they take care. And the Vigraham is prepared in an appropriate material so that the Devata can occupy it comfortably. That is why we have the Shilpa Shastra and all of that. So imagine yourself, when we had the COVID, so we all were inside a PPE kit. And even in the aircraft, we were traveling with the PPE kit, right? Or imagine an astronaut. Now the astronaut has to go to space. So in order to go to space and live there, they have to wear an appropriate suit, which is suitable in that particular area. Second, which is also they can occupy it comfortably. So similarly, a Vigraham that way on the Bhuloka, in the Bhuloka, we create an appropriate shape and appropriate structure for the Devata to come and occupy. That is why in which material the Vigraham is made, what is the proportion in which it is made. They take the Angula measurements. Okay, so this is one measurement chan that they use to measure, right? Or they use this kind of a measurement, 4 angulas to measure, right? Like that, they measure various. They have it in different proportions, and they construct the Vigraham. So depending on whether it is a standing deity or a sitting deity, whether it is a male deity or a female deity, accordingly the stone is chosen and accordingly the proportions are chosen so that the Vigraham can be occupied by the Devata, and the Devata is able to give benefits to all the devotees. So in the temple processes, that is what happens. So all the Navagrahams are invoked. The waters from different rivers are brought forth. The entire place is purified. In fact, before constructing a temple or an ashram, what they usually do is they allow the cows to go and graze there so that the place is purified. And then the different structures, the entire structure, because it is hosting a high energy being, appropriate structures are built so that they can be comfortably hosted in that particular place. Like, so imagine, a very important person in the society is there. Could be the president of the US, or I don't know, could be anybody. So they have an appropriate housing. They don't live in a house like all of us do, right? They have an appropriate, house. They have an appropriate menu. So imagine the president or prime minister of a country. So they keep traveling to different cities and different states and different countries. So it means that they have to be provided an appropriate diet, which actually suits their body, right? So every aspect of this very important person in the society is taken care of. Their clothes, they should not sweat, they should not feel chill, it should appear good in front of others. So all these are taken care of. So similarly, when we do this for the Devata, they should be able to occupy the place comfortably and bless all the devotees that come. So for that, all the structures are in place, all the maryadas, all the affection, love, care, bhaya, bhakti, everything is shown so that they come there and bless the devotees. Okay. So now we will be looking at puja vidhi, simple home puja, or a little bit elaborate for that matter. before that, any questions or any points of discussion? Anything that you would like to share? Or
one thing, the Shaligrama or Shivalinga, is it like, there are some restrictions are there, right? This much height it should be, or the more height it is, like, the more puja vidhanam we have to do it. Is there any restrictions on the idol murti or the Shaligrama which we need, like, where we can source it, like, okay, from, if you are getting from ancestors only, or you're from your grandparents, then only you have to adopt these, or, like, you should not worship these. Are there any rules of such?
so the thing is that whenever, see, many times I have visited places where they have like big panchaloha vigrahams or devatas, but they are just being used as show pieces, right? Or they will have big stone structures, but just being used as show pieces. And nowadays, everybody has Buddha, big statues of Buddha everywhere. So that is not a problem. Neutrally, it works out well. But then if we have to have our devatas, then the best is they have to be not more than 6 inches. That is what they say, right? So that when it is less than that, then you can, it is very it is okay to have it in the home. But beyond that, anything, it should be appropriately taken care through daily puja. Abhishekam should be performed, or something should be done. But if you already have something in your house, don't be afraid. Don't get scared because I'm saying this. It is okay. Just see to it that occasionally, at least some pujas you're able to perform. But don't, just because they look beautiful, I would definitely not advise to have stone vigrahams of the devatas and devis. So that practice, if possible, can be may not be adopted. Okay, and the shalagramams and other things, best would be to get it from the family. But in case your family does not have, there will be authorized people. There will be people who sell very authentic things. So it can be taken from them. It can be bought from them. Only thing is that it will be best to consult somebody as to what is the nitya puja or the niyamas that are to be followed when you have such things. So when it comes to puja vidhis and devatas, no need, we need not possess anything just for fancy. That much care should be taken. But if we have received it from the family, it should be fine. Someday we will get the time to pick it up and then do. There are a lot of authentic people who sell some of these. If at all we are able to allocate time to perform the pujas, we can take it from them.
Okay, dhanyawad.
Yes. So when it comes to the puja vidhi, it is usually begun with the Vigneshwara, puja for Vigneshwara. That in all the pujas and in all the temples, he would be the first one, pradhana, to be worshipped. So even in our puja vidhis, he will be the first one to be worshipped. But before that, there is also a process that one can do in terms of purifying one's hands, and also purifying the place where we set for the puja. So they usually say Achyutaya Namaha, Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha before this process is begun. And then what we do is that there is a Vigneshwara Dhyanam that is done. Vigneshwara Dhyanam in terms of Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam, like that we chant the mantra of Vigneshwara. Any mantra, usually this is the mantra that is chanted, and then we meditate on Vigneshwara, so that any vigna to the or any obstacle to this puja process may be removed. So here, if you see the beauty of this entire puja vidhi process, is that every element that is used in the puja vidhi is consecrated that way. It is considered to be sacred, right? So the Vigneshwara mantra is that way. Even the water that is used, that is considered to be purified. The bell that is used, that is also, there is a puja for that. The lamp that is used, that is, there is a puja for that. The place that we sit, that is also consecrated with mantras and water and all of that. So that way, the entire place is purified through materials and the mantra. Okay. So there is also sometimes there is a short mantra that we chant in order to take the blessings of the elders. And then we go into the pranayama. Om buhu, om buha, buvaha, om suvaha, like that. We talk about the various planes of existence, right? Bhu, buvaha, suvaha, mahaha, janaha, tapaha, tatyam. So the various lokas which are positive, we actually invoke those lokas and we do the pranayama process. We inhale and exhale, we hold the breath, and then we chant these mantras. Okay. We close the right nostril with the right thumb, inhale through the left nostril, and then this mantra is mentally chanted. So, and then holding the breath again, we do like a anuloma viloma pranayama, right? And then whoever has been initiated into the Gayatri mantra and whatever it is, they also say the Gayatri mantra, right? And then what happens is that after that, for the Vigneshwara Puja, we have a small Sankalpa mantra, right? So that all the negative thoughts, the words and actions which have been accrued over the various lifetimes can be removed. Namopata samasta durita kshayadvara. Okay, so all the negativities that I have accumulated may be destroyed, so that I become a supatra in order to perform this puja. Shri Parameshwara Prityartham Deva Pujam Karishye. So let me be a worthy person of Parameshwara and let me perform this puja having purified the various aspects. So a short Sankalpa mantra as part of the Vigneshwara Puja is done. And then the asana and Ganta Puja, the asana puja which we are sitting on, the puja is done, right? Here, why do we say the asana? Why do we do the asana puja? Because we are using Bhumata, right? The Prithvi to sit on. We might have set foot on her, right? So we just pray to the Mother Earth, and also so that as a way of telling her that we are sitting on Bhumi in order to perform this puja. Okay. And then the Ghanta Puja is done. So the Ghanta Puja is a very important thing because if you look at it, the sound of the Ghanta purifies the place. Basically, it wards off the evil forces which are there around us, and it brings the auspicious forces into fold in order to support the puja. So we know that, for example, when Vishwamitra came to Dasharatha Maharaja's Sabha and told that I want Rama and Lakshmana to come with me in order to destroy the demons who are disturbing my yajna, right? Rishis are performing yajna, and I want Rama and Lakshmana to come with me to kill the asuras and rakshasas, right? So that way we need support of all the forces to keep away the negative forces. So the Ganta Puja, when the mantra is chanted, and the bell is rung. So it is said that all the negative forces leave and the positive forces come. Okay. Yes, Chandraji.
Also, I believe as part of the Sankalpa mantra, you say Jnanavairagya Siddhartham Vidya Vinaya Praptyartham.
Yes.
And also whoever the deity that you are going to worship, you for their kripa, you say all those things as part of the Sankalpa mantra. Just wanted to.
Yes, yes, Chi. So as part of the main puja or the pradhana puja, there is a more detailed Sankalpa mantra where we talk about the location, the tithi, the vara, the nakshatram, and then we pray for the well-being of all who are participating in the puja. Yes, so that the detailed Sankalpa is definitely done. Right. So then you have the asana and ghanta puja. Okay. And then and then the Vigneshwara puja is done. Okay. In the Vigneshwara puja, there were 16 names of Vigneshwara are chanted. So briefly it is chanted, and then the Vigneshwara puja is concluded with various offerings. Okay. So you have the Dhupam, Deepam, Naivedyam, Karpura Arati, and all of that is done for Vigneshwara. Right? And then the Pradhana Puja, there is a Prarambham that, the Pujarambham is begins with the Dhyanam and Avahanam. Okay? So mainly why it is done is because the deity has to be invited to be part of the puja. Okay, so usually in the temples, the deity is always situated in the temple. So we don't have the avahana mantram in the temple. Okay, so but in the puja, in our pujas, what we do is that we briefly invite the devata or devi, and then towards the end of the puja or whatever it is, we send back the devata. Right. So here in our homes, we do a puja and conclude the puja, right? So there is this avahanam. So we have to invite the deity to the home, right? And we say Om, and then we say avahanam samarpayam. Then what we do is that there is a detailed sankalpa mantra. See, the processes that I'm telling may slightly vary from home to home, or from I don't know, south and north, east and west, or how it is shrunk or in a more detail. But you can just get to know that these are the broad elements of a puja. Okay? So here and then again a pranayamam is done, and then a detailed sankalpa mantra is offered. And then a Vigneshwara Udhyapanam. So whatever in Vigneshwara we invited, we tell Vigneshwara that puja has concluded. He may now leave, and we will continue with the other parts. And then we do the Kalasha Puja. The Kalasha Puja is mainly done in order to invite the Devis and Devatas of the various waters and rivers to come and occupy the water that we have in the Panchapatra. So we say Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesvin Sannidhim Kuru. So may you please come and occupy this particular water that I have, so that with this water the entire thing might be purified. Again we have the Ganta Puja, Dhyana and Avahanam. Then you have the Prana Pratishta aspects of it. Yes, Ji?
Question on the Gange Chemune Cheva. I usually say it when I'm taking shower first.
Hmm.
And then
Yes,
I don't say it, doing puja, I don't say it. So obviously that's part of the puja ritual, right?
It's also part of the puja. It's part of the Kalasha Puja. Kalasha Puja means you will have a Panchapatram with you, where you take water and to purify the various stages. So in that you invite the rivers to come and occupy.
Okay, thank you.
So then you have Dhyanam, Avahanam, Prana Pratishta. Some mantras are there for Prana Pratishta. In the temple, this Prana Pratishta mantra is not told on a daily basis because the Prana Pratishta is done at the beginning itself when the consecration happens. And after that, only the daily pujas are done. Okay. And after that, we have the Anga Puja. Anga Puja means we actually do puja of the various angas of the deity. Okay, like the padam, the hands, and the various parts of the deity's body. We do puja of that, and then yes, Prasadji. Prasadji.
In the Ganta Puja, what exactly will do, Ji? Do
Ganta Puja, we have to chant a mantra for the Ganta.
Any mantra?
Yeah, there is one. Agamartham tu devanam, gamanartham tu rakshasam. Like that, there is one mantra. I will send the document, Ji. I will post the document. Yeah.
A difference between Shodasha Puja and Sandhya Vandanam is also considered as a Puja Paddhati, or those are all different?
The Sandhya Vandanam, there are different components, of course, one for the body and the other is for the various directions and the sun and all of that. Yeah. So some small aspects are common, but then that is largely to do with the various Dig Devatas and all of that we pray. There is a pranayama component again there. There is again the Gayatri Mantram is chanted and all of that.
So we have to do the Sandhya Vandanam first, and then we have to go to the puja, right? Or
yeah, puja will be like yes, the puja will be very much shortened when you do it like morning and evening and all of that. But this is a more elaborate puja that I'm talking about.
Okay.
So best to do Sandhya Vandanam and then do the puja. Yeah.
Then.
So after the Anga Puja, the various Sahasanamam chantings or the Ashtotam chanting happens, right? And then you have the Dhupam, Deepam, Naivedyam, Tambulam, Karpuram, Pushpanjali, Mantra Pushpam, all this is done. Okay. So Dhupam Samarpayami, like that we give the Padyam, Arghyam, Achamniyam, Madhuparkam, Snanam, like that there are Vastram, like that there are Abharanam, many things we offer to the deity. Okay, so there are 16 offerings like that, and then we just as when a guest comes, we offer them various materials. So we offer them a seat to sit, we offer them water to drink, we offer them some sweets to have, we switch on the fan or we switch on the AC for them, right? So like that there are that Samaram is there. We might even sing a song for them, right? Or we might ensure that they are not exposed directly to the sun. We might hold an umbrella for them. So like that, the various aspects are done. Abharanam, Gandham, Pushpam, Dhupam, Deepam, Naivedyam, so all Tambulam and Karpura Niranjanam, the Arati is taken, right? And even the Mantra Pushpam is chanted, right? And then we do the Pradakshina Namaskaram. Sorry, I will edit this. We do the Pradakshina Namaskaram. Do the Pradakshina Namaskaram. And we might even do the Rajopacharam in terms of the Chatram, Samaram, Geetam, etc. And then conclude with an Arghyam, which is the water offering, and then conclude with a prayer like, Kayena Vacha Manasendriya, like that we can conclude. And while doing the, Pradakshina, we can do being in the same place, we actually go around, we just revolve or rotate, whatever you can say, 3 times clockwise, and then we bow down, we do namaskaram to the devata, and we offer the flowers or whatever. Each one is then invited to offer the flowers to the devata, right? So this is broadly the process that we follow. Okay. So here the Shodashopachara is it can be done to as elaborately as required, as as can be done depending on what kind of materials we are able to procure, depending on our financial status or whatever it is. The Shodashopachara can be done with materials accordingly. So usually what they say is that even when we go to a temple, you would see that there is the Mula Murti is there, and there is also a Utsava Murti. The Mula Murti or Mula Vigraham is usually done with materials like stone, granite stone. But the Utsava Murti is done usually with the Panchaloha, right? So in the Panchaloha, there are various materials that are offered, silver, gold, and all of that. And in small quantities. Otherwise, there is already other materials which are part of, it's an alloy basically. And the Panchaloha Vigraham is prepared. So depending on which material the Vigraham is prepared or made in, it can hold the energy accordingly. So that is why Panchaloha becomes very important. It is not wood, it is not plastic, it is not plaster of Paris, or it is not any other material. So that is why the Panchaloha is prepared accordingly. And what they usually do is that they tie the eyes of the, or they close the eyes of the Panchaloha Vigraham and they give it to you. So when you buy a Panchaloha Vigraham in the shop, usually there is a beautiful place here in Tamil Nadu, which is called Swami Malai. Okay, the Swami Malai is actually one of the 6 sthalas of Murugan, and is a very important center. So in Swami Malai is where the Panchaloha Vigrahams are very, very famous. They still, even now, they use the ancient molding technique. So they prepare a mold and then they pour the alloy into it, and then they prepare beautiful Vigrahams. And since it is a Chola region, so all the Vigrahams they prepare have the Chola features, right? So the Panchaloha Vigrahams, if you see, they usually they ask you, like, if you want, you can bring your gold and silver from home in very small quantities, a few grams, maybe 1 or 2 grams also should be okay, because they're anyway malleable and all of that. So they prepare the Vigrahams, and then they usually tie the eyes, they close the eyes with a cloth and they give it to you. And once we bring it to the temple, what we do is that we do the various processes for it, and then we what do you say? It is the eyes, the cloth is opened. Even for the stone Vigrahams, that is how it is done. And what those people do is that the stonesmith or the shilpi or the goldsmith, what they do is they usually place a mirror in front of the deity, and they stand behind and then they open the cloth, because the drishti of the devata is so powerful that they don't want to stand directly in front of the devata. So that is why they stand, they put a mirror, they stand behind and see the devata through the mirror. The first sight is seen through the mirror. So like this, there are so many processes and aidihams that are followed. And in fact, very interesting, when we did the pratishtha of Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada, Agastya Maharishi and Mahavatar Babaji, and we have Yoga Vidya Ganapati at the ashram. So each of these stone Vigrahams were something like 200 kilos, 250 kilos and all of that. So, and then if you have to bring them inside a Dhyana Mandapam and then mount them on a Peetham, it can be quite complex. So what the traditional, what the people from the Shirpi, the Shirpis, right? So what they did was the entire group that had come, they brought big wooden cylindrical trunks of wood, and the deity was kept on that, and then they literally rolled it on the floor, and then they built two wooden planks on the stairs kind of a thing, and then they kept pushing the deity. So when they kept pushing the deity just went and comfortably sat on the pitham, because there is no way you're going to lift it and then keep it on the pitham, right? You need all these traditional methods in order to, of course, when you have much larger vigrahams, today people use a crane or whatever it is. So imagine in those days, such huge Shivalingams, how would they have mounted them on the pithams? So it means that there were these indigenous technologies available in order to mount the various devatas. And when before we mount the devatas or after we mount it, what we do is that we apply what is called the Ashtabandhanam paste. Okay, the Ashtabandhanam is basically, it is like a lac, LAC, right? So in olden days, they used to have those seals and stamps, right? The red color. So that we take it, and the lac, what it usually comes what do you say? Uh, like a solid. So you'll have to take it and melt it and then pour it on the sides. After it cools down, basically the deity now is comfortably, attached to the pitham. And during various kumbhabhishekams, the lepanam is again replaced and done again. There is also in the temples, on the top also, you have the kalasham. They say that the main Gopura kalasham has various grains in it, so that even if at all there is a flood, the core grains of that particular region will be preserved. So like that, there are various temple processes, very detailed. I'm only talking about the South Indian temples. Of course, in the North Indian temples, again, there are a set of processes slightly differently maybe, but largely it is the same set of components that are there, that are followed. So what we do at home, so what the Puranas say is that what they do in the temple is what is a bhuloka image of what really happens in the loka of the devata. Okay. So just as various offerings are done directly in that particular loka, a simulation of that is done in our loka, right? So that way, whatever, and a simulation of that is done at home. So whatever we do at home is nothing but a replica or a simulation or an amsha of whatever is happening in the loka of that particular deity. That is why we do it with a lot of shraddha, we do it with a lot of care, we do it with a lot of love and attention to the devata, right? Anything you wish to share from your own home practices? This will be a nice way to share all of this. Please, if any of you can share any insights, it will be beneficial to everyone.
Prasadji, did you have a question?
No question as such, but this Pradhana Puja, it will takes about 1 hour, right? If you want to do all of these. In the busy world, can we skip all, the shorter version? Do you have anything
The
these are
shorter
all?
version, is you can begin with the Vigneshwara Puja, and then go into the puja of the main deity through by chanting and all of that, and then do the various offerings like Dhupam, Deepam, Naivedyam. Then do the Pradakshinam, Dhupam, Deepam, Naivedyam, Karpura, Tambulam, Karpura Arati, Pushpanjali can be done. And then you can do the Pradakshina Namaskaram, and then you can do the Pradakshina Namaskaram and conclude the puja. This is the shorter version.
do you have to do the Avanam of the devatas, like, you know, so you will have the main devata, right? Your Kula Devata or
Yeah,
your
Kula Devata, or you want to do that day for Vishnu, you want to do or whatever. Then you can chant the Ashtotram of that particular Devata.
okay.
Or you want to do Lakshmi Puja, you can do Lakshmi Puja. Yes, DCG.
First of all, I just want to share my gratitude just to hear everything summarized in one go. That's very nice, and at least in my age, I'm able to kind of review and see what we did as kids, and then how things have sort of changed or drifted away, and coming back to the basics and rehashing everything. That's a big deal for me personally. And the variances and everything else, there's a lot more questions I have, but this is a great sort of rehashing of things from my end. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anybody wants to share anything? Chandraji?
Chandraji?
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the importance of Kalasham and the invocation of the deities and things like that?
Yes. So here, if you see, okay, see whatever I say here, I might be using a very mundane language, but that is just to make it very relatable. Okay, so none of this puja process is mundane or it is something that is trivial or whatever it is. But the way I probably give examples or analogies, it might make it sound it's very mundane thing. So that's not the intention, but just to make it relatable. So when you talk about the various aspects of it, so as I told you, every material that is part of the puja is sacred. For example, in some of the Puranas, when I read it, the various astras and shastras are also the children of Kashyapa Maharishi. Okay, so the Kashyapa Prajapati, when we say Prajapati, their main duty is to, for example, Elon Musk, he wants to populate the Mars, right? Or what we call colonizing Mars, whatever is the word for that, right? So when we say populating Mars, then he needs people who will go from here, stay there and populate the place. So they will be the Elon Musk identified Prajapatis of Mars. So similarly, we had Daksha Prajapati who had many daughters, of which 13 of the daughters married Kashyapa Prajapati. So the express purpose of the Prajapatis, of course, the dhyana, the swadharma, everything is there. But one of the key aspects is that they would have been involved in propagating the particular race. Okay, living things. For example, Kashyapa Prajapati was the father of the birds, the animals, the turtles, and all of that. The humans came much later. So there, even the Rakshasas, the Asuras, all of them were born through Kashyapa Prajapati. And it is mentioned there that the various astras and shastras are also the sons or children of Kashyapa Prajapati. So it means that every object that we use, say for example, we have a mobile phone, right? So I have this. Suppose I don't have, but suppose I have an iPhone, right? So the iPhone, it is one thing. Of course, it's an object which is used for communication. But if you look at it in a subtle sense, there is a governing intelligence that you can trace back all the way, probably up to Tim Cook, or before there was Jobs was there, right? You can trace the governing intelligence to this entire process where this phone is now sitting in your palm for usage. So when you look at everything with the Sukshma Drishti, okay, the Sthula Drishti is this particular object, which is the Ghanta, which is the Kalasha, whatever it is. But when you look at it in a very subtle sense, then when you look at it with the Sukshma Drishti, there is a governing intelligence behind every object that is there available to us. So in order to acknowledge and invoke that governing intelligence to be part of the puja, every object that is part of the puja is consecrated. Even the space is consecrated. Okay. So that is why we tell mantra for the ghanta. We do the kalasha puja, because the water, what we would have done, we would have taken it from our tap, right? We go to the tap and take the water from there, right? And the water would have been stored here, there, whatever it is coming through the pipe. Then we have all these fluoride, chloride, all of that is part of the water. And now we are sitting for puja. So the water as such is now in a very crude state. So if it has to become usable as part of the puja process, it has to be purified, right? And also we need to invoke the presence of the various devatas to bless us. So that is why the rivers themselves, the devis of the rivers, are invoked to purify the water or consecrate that particular water. And every sound has a particular frequency, pitch, and impact. So the ghanta, as such, it is said that it removes the evil forces that might try to harm the puja. Evil force could be anything. So if I say evil, don't imagine some dark force coming and disturbing the puja. That is a different thing. But even simple vignas we could have while doing the puja, right? We could get an office call. We could just be tired that we can't continue the puja further. Anything, it could be anything, right? So something that is an obstacle. So in order to remove those obstacles, the Ghanta puja is done so that the environment becomes purified. So that is why the governing intelligence behind everything is looked at, whether it is the tambulam, whether it is the naivedyam, whether it is the deepam, dhupam, even the deepa puja, jyoti puja is done before you start. Like that, there are the various processes. Even the people do the anganyasam and karanyasam. So what they do is that as part of the prana pratishtha, they do the various gestures, right, on the shoulder or behind the neck, around the head, and all of that, such that the anganyasa and karanyasa. Anganyasa means every part of the body is, what you can say, consecrated, because different devatas live in different parts of the body, right? So whether it is the left shoulder, the right shoulder, like that, each part of the body is consecrated using the various gestures and mudras. So that way, the person who is performing the puja, their body also is consecrated in the process. In fact, there is a beautiful book called, the text, I would say, called the Bhavanopanishad. The Bhavanopanishad is given by Bhaskara Raya. The commentary and everything is given by Bhaskara Raya. The Bhaskara Raya's commentary on Lalita Sahasranamam is also very famous. So Bhaskara Raya, what he does in that particular, when he comments on the particular Upanishad, he says that when we perform the Sri Yantra Puja, he looks at the entire body as the Sri Yantra. Or to the Sri Yantra, he maps the various dimensions of the human being. Like, for example, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, the Karmendriya, the Jnanendriya, the Panchaprana, the Panchakosha, all of that is mapped. The Dashavayu, Dashanadis, the 16 Kalas, the Nityas, all of this is mapped to the Sri Yantra. So in that particular process, which is a process of Tantra, he delves deeper into how this instrument itself can become the Yantra. So one thing, of course, is using an external Sri Yantra. But in this process, he talks about how the body itself can be looked at as a Yantra, which is consecrated to be able to perform the puja. So he says that the entire experiential process first starts by the visual. We look at the Devata. The Devata has a form. and through the visual sense is what we are able to understand and comprehend the Devata. But then we go into a subtler process where we are able to chant and our voice is heard through the ears, and through the chanting we comprehend the Devata. And he says the third stage, which is the stage of Bhavana, he says that the Devata appears in the chitta of the sadhaka. So that is a very deep form where the person is now hosting the Devata in the chitta. So at that time, this whole body has to be purified in order to get that experience. So that is why this thing itself is looked at the yantra. So like that, there are very deeper layers of meaning to it. And there are different kinds of tantra. Nowadays, this tantra, when you go to the bookstore and look at the books on tantra, you will find all these images where you want to just either, you feel embarrassed or you just want to grab your children away from those shelves, right? So that is how they have converted this tantra to be. But if you travel to different parts of the country, you travel to the northeast, when you travel to West Bengal, there is a certain kind of tantra that is followed. When you come to the south, there is a kind of tantra that is followed. So when you say tantra, nothing complicated. The word tantra means what is the procedure or process that is followed in order to achieve the goal. And the body itself becomes the instrument in order to achieve the goal. So like that, there is different layers of puja vidhi that are there in our tradition.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
yeah.
Are these puja vidhis that you have listed here, are they derived from tantra, or are they just practices that have evolved over time?
They are both, G. For example, there is one book by Bhagavatpada, Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada, called the Prapanchasara Tantra. So there he lists all the details of various, how the pujas can be done, much deeper way, not using the bija mantras and all of that. So like that, it is there. Yeah. In some of the, in fact, if you look at the Devi Bhagavatam, in Puranic puja vidhis are listed there. So now it has more Vaidika process have come. In the earlier times, Purana processes used to be there. Whatever is processes are described in the Puranas, they would be taken as the way to do the puja of the deities.
What is an example of a Vaidika process versus a Puranic process?
Puranic process may be like, some bija mantras may be used. So for example, nowadays the Agama Shastras are used. We have the Agama Shastras in order to how to build a temple, how to keep the deity, who can do puja to the deity. All that is codified now in the Agama Shastras. But there will be temples which are built according to the Purana Vidhis. So they may not have the same stringent rules that we have as part of the Agama Shastras. Yeah, they may be more open for us to access the deities and all of that.
Okay. And
so most of the temples you visit in the south, if you go, there will be Garbhagraham. Nobody is given access. So all these are Agama Shastra based things.
And what is for a daily puja vidhi or for special occasions at home, what would be like an example of a Vaidika puja vidhi? Is that
Vaidika puja vidhi means there will be
homa and all that?
Homa and everything will be there, Ji.
Okay.
And they will be initiated into the mantras, so they have to chant those mantras as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's part of that.
And I have one very fundamental question, Ji. I know a couple of others have also raised their hands. Let me quickly ask. A very fundamental question is, there is Ghanta Puja and there is a Kalasha Puja and all that, where, ostensibly you're trying to purify, the sound, the water, and so on. how, if the example that you had given was like, the water that comes from the tap, it has fluoride and all that stuff. What is the rationale, or if there is any, or the thinking behind chanting something to, purify something very external, or, like, how do I say this? I mean, we know that, chanting alone cannot remove
Yeah, definitely. If
pollutants
you
in the
chant
water,
the
for
Kalasha
example.
Puja mantra, the fluoride is not going to go away for
Yeah, any
sure.
pollutants, right? Whether it is
Yeah,
dirty
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, right? So
Yes,
what is
yes.
the thinking, right? How
So this
are
is
we
basically
rationalizing this?
the subtler suitability of the water that is used. When you invoke the deities to occupy the water, it is a subtle invitation to occupy. So whether there will be a sthula transformation in the water, we cannot say. Of course, nowadays, lot of research is there on water has memory, and the people chanting to water and how water crystallizes. That is a very concrete way by which people are now testing some of this. Yeah, practically, if you chant the mantra and go test for fluoride, that may not be the best approach. That may not be the scientific proof of the mantra working. But through the crystal studies and various things, people are actually seeing the impact of the mantras. So that
But in
way,
olden days, we want the deity to be resident for purification. Is it?
yes.
Is that
For example, we do the Varuna Puja in the homams. We have a kalasham, right? And we tie a thread around it,
threads?
the
Yeah.
mantle thread. Then we keep the coconut and then the mango leaves on it. And then what we do is that we do the Varuna Puja, invoke Varuna in that, and with that water only we pour to the deities.
Okay.
So Varuna has to be invoked into the water to be poured on top of the deities. Yeah.
Okay. Ji. Okay. Yeah. So we are looking for sukshma transformation there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the invitation has to be given. Whether
Okay.
they choose to come or not, we don't know. But yes, so the invitation has to be given.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. Others can ask their questions now.
Yes, Ji.
I have one more slide which I will show in the end, which is just the Sankalpa mantra, but I'm open for questions.
One comment I had, the comment on fluoride. I guess the impact on us will be less or none. With the impact on mantra and
Mantras. Very true.
Yeah, dhatu is not going to, whether it's there or not, it doesn't really matter. Right? It's what's the effect on us is what is the receiving end, right? So that's one comment. The other, there's more of a question. Are these sort of prescribed way of doing things, right? Do they differ by temple or maybe subsection of what you follow? Meaning, like whether it's Shaivites or Vaishnavites, are these the same, or is there
They
any
will be
overlap?
different. They will be different. The components largely will be the same. But then they will be like, for example, the Pancharatra traditions are there. So the Vaishnava things might differ there. So there will be a difference for sure. Yeah.
How different, and is there like the fundamentals or the overlap, or basically are the goals are
See,
the
the
same,
thing
right?
is that when Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada, what he did was he had this Shanmatha, the 6 dimensions, which includes the worship of Devi, Ganapati, Kaumaram, all of that, the 6 dimensions, Surya, Vishnu, and Shiva. So then he brought in stotrams for all of this, puja vidhis for all of this. The staunch, say Orthodox people also created a lot of processes. Many processes also changed over time. I don't know the details of what is different in each of these, but I can say for sure that it's quite different. But the components, largely the components will be the same in terms of the Shodashopachara and all of that. But then what mantras are chanted, what various mudras, gestures, and invocations will surely.
Dhanyawad.
Please.
Namaste ji.
Yeah.
In some vratas, they mention to use rice below the kalisham. Is that we can follow, or what we do with that rice? I want to know if we do.
See, I am not so familiar with too many details of the process because each process differs. So usually what they tell is that you can use the rice blended with other rice. That is also fine. And only one thing is that whatever puja materials are there, they have to be appropriately taken care to the end. That alone has to be looked into. So in fact, here in Bharat, we have a NGO or a company, I don't know, which takes care of the puja materials, because so much puja flowers, everything we, discard. And also we have the various photos given by so many people. So we have to respectfully take care of them. So there are organizations that where to whom you can send, or they come and take it and ensure that they are respectfully taken care of.
And
So
what
each
about
material,
the kalisha water? We can use the kalisha water?
kalasa water is usually given to the plants.
Plants. Mm.
Yeah.
And is there any particular time daily if we want to do puja, or
A particular time, Ji.
time? Mm.
Like too much after sunset is not a good idea. So any other time should be okay. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Thank you.
Look at the calendar, auspicious tithi, auspicious time, something is
Oh,
there.
yes.
One can put.
Ah.
Non-Rahu Kalam, that's the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
So when we do the detailed Sankarpa mantra, we talk about whatever negative actions I have done, let them be removed. And then we talk about the larger time scales in terms of the Parardha, the Kalpa, the Manvantara, the Yuga, and which Pada we are there in, and which land we are there. Jambu Dvipe, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakande, Meror Dakshine Parshve, okay? And like that, we give the various locations up to the place that we are located in, okay? We zoom in. Here, of course, when you do it in the US, it will be different. In fact, they for California, they use the word Kapilaranya Kshetre. So, Kanchi Periyava at some point mentioned that Kapila Muni used to live there, and hence when they do the Sankalpa mantra in California, they say that it is Kapilaranya. Okay, and we have the year Vishwavasu, and then you have the Sharad Ritu, and then Kanya Mase, Panchami Shubhatitau, Sthiravasara. Today is Saturday, Sthiravasara, and Anusha Nakshatram here. So I have just fit it into the Sankalpa mantra. एवं गुणविशेषेण विशिष्टायाम् अस्यां शुभतिथौ अस्माकं सर्वेषां सहकुटुम्बानां क्षेमस्थैर्य विजय आरोग्यम् अभिवृद्ध्यर्थं मम गृहे महालक्ष्मी नित्यनिवास सिद्ध्यर्थं. So this is with respect to the Mahalakshmi. Okay. मम इष्टकाम्य फल सिद्ध्यर्थं मम व्यापार व्यवहार उद्योग अभिवृद्धि सिद्ध्यर्थं समस्त मंगल व्याप्त्यर्थं yeah. And Sharire Vartamana Kala Vartayishyamana Sakala Roga Parihara Dwara Kshipra Arogya Saukya Siddhyata. So like that, we pray for the well-being of our entire family, our Purusharthas may be taken care of, and like that, we pray to the Devatas, right? And this is a Sankalpa mantra that is in a detailed form. Yes, yes, DCG.
Which Muni for Texas?
Texas. I don't know. Shrikantji, do you know what is it for Texas?
Sorry, what is the question, Ji?
So I think for California it was Kapila Muni, right?
Kapilaranya Kshetre.
I don't know that. Yeah.
I had that question like every time I hear with some, someone actually following the mantras, right?
Yeah.
On a periodic basis, they say, but Bharata Khande, right? Okay, I can say America Khande.
Yeah, America
I don't
Khande,
know.
and then they.
Yeah.
I think
That's what they
say,
do.
instead of Jambu Dvipe, they say Krauncha Dvipe here. I've heard some of the Archakas and
Yeah.
priests from the temple say those things, but I've not really registered that very well.
Gotcha.
Usually
just,
they say
will
Texas
have a-
Raj.
Yeah,
Usually they say Texas Rajye, Austin Pattane.
Yeah, you can say all
typically
that.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So here I have some document I just Googled up. So here you have
Krauncha
what was the
Dvipe,
word you
Indra
mentioned?
Khande.
Krauncha Dvipe. Mississippi, Missouri इत्यादि षोडश जीवनदी परिवाह प्रान्ते. This is for US.
Yeah, I think primarily this is to identify the time and location properly. I think.
Yeah, correct. Yes, Ji.
Is the Sankalpam is asking God, like, all those things, like, give us all these ones, like, that's what the Sankalpa, importance of Sankalpa?
Oh, Ji, Sankalpa mantra is okay in a very mundane sense. If they know that you are the one who's doing this, it means we have to invoke at the right location. So it's like the GPS coordinates of where this puja is being done.
Okay.
No, Sankalpa is more of a setting of the intention, right?
Yes, that is the Sankalpa, but these particular verses are to do with the coordinates and when it is being done. When and where is this being done?
No, I think the question was, are we asking for it? It is more like we are setting the intention. Pujam Karisha, I am going to perform this puja in order to achieve these things, right? So that's the initial Sankalpa. You do it before you set the intention. You explicitly set the intention, perform the puja, and then at the end of the puja, you pray. I mean, that's the procedure. That's the way I understand it to be.
Yes. Absolutely.
So basically, you are giving your coordinates, like, okay, I am located over here, and I'm so called with this nakshatra and with this name, and this is the family members I want, and give us all these things. So that's what, and we'll ask our Ishtadevata. That's what the Sankalpa meaning is.
Yeah.
Well, there's a subtle difference, Prasadji. Sorry to interrupt, but subtle difference, at least my understanding, and feel free to correct me. You are not asking right away in the Sankalpa. You're like, they say, you set the intention, like even the life coach people, they say, personality development, they say, you set the intention. You are saying, hey, it is not your project result, it is the project vision. You're setting the vision. You say, in order to achieve this, I'm going to perform the pujas. You perform the pujas. At the end of it, you in your mind, you say, okay, hey, these are the reasons I'm performing the puja. Please grant me these wishes, and then you conclude the puja. That's the way. It's like a 1, 2, 3, right? 1 is not 3. 1, it's 1, 2, 3.
Dhanyawad ji.
Absolutely. That's the intention is the Sankalpa. Sankalpa word itself is means to set the intention, as he rightly mentioned.
I actually forgot my question, but interesting to know we're going technical way. I think I felt a more like configuration for every time we do puja or maybe just a sankalpam. We are just thinking where we're at, right? So that's how I take it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I remember my question now. So when we have larger gatherings, let's say we have like a larger feast, but we're doing it for a specific reason, right? Like a feast where, I guess for Govinda, they have one way of doing the everybody coming together, and certain people cook the food and then they offer for other families, right? Um, during that time also we can say something like this, like can we say for the betterment of, or people who are gathering?
Can be done, G. As we say, it's mainly to invoke the right kind of blessings. So it can be done. It's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, whenever we have meetings or whatever events, if the equivalent, the Indian calendar aspects are also put there, then it also becomes a very meaningful way to celebrate the events. So next time we celebrate some Indic festival, below the date, we can even give the Indian calendar dates.
Okay. If we don't have any other questions, we can wrap up for the day and this Karma Kanda session. Thank you very much, Smritiji, for enlightening us, and Swami Agastyanandagiri ji also wonderfully went through all the samskaras last week. So we're very grateful to have you come and teach us, share your knowledge, educate us on all these amazing topics. Just a word for all the attendees. We have not entirely crystallized the schedule, but sometime later this year or maybe early part of next year, Smriti ji will enlighten us on the Panchakosha pathway and some yoga knowledge, basic yoga knowledge. Just like we learned the puja vidhi today, the simple ways of performing puja and what the components are, we'll also learn some basics of yoga and so on. Okay. In the meanwhile, we have some other sessions coming up for the next couple of months, and we'll keep you updated on the chat on the specific topics. Okay. All right. So let's wrap up for the day. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste. Namaste all.